Assalamu alaikum. Basically, today is the first class for corporate social responsibility, and this subject is quite important as well. But in generally, it is going to be related towards how we can help the environment and the local consumers as well, because they all get affected by the organizations through the waste. Again, we will be focusing on the roadmap of this subject and the indicative content, plus suggested evidence and the command verbs. Understand the current corporate social responsibilities issue facing the business. So, what actually CSR is, plus how it is depicting the organizations and companies. Now, these are various perspectives of corporate social responsibility, that is, behaving responsibly, contributing to a better society. Then we have social and environmental concerns, triple bottom line. Now, these things are present in your indicative content as well, although these are not required in your task. It is just a general perspective of the definitions. Behaving responsibly according to the CSR. Now, it involves organizations conducting their operations in an ethical and accountable manner. That is, you're going to stick towards all the rules and regulations which your organization is abide by. It encompasses adhering to the legal standards, ethical practices, and respecting the social norms or the societal norms while considering the impacts of decisions on the various stakeholders. Now, we all know that there are different kinds of stakeholders: consumers, comment, the general employee, the general public, the directors, the board of directors. So we have to see that the decisions we are going to take, how that is going to be impacting their lives. Then if we talk about to the better society, like from the perspective of society, that what CSR says, it entails businesses actively participating in the initiatives that promote societal well-being. Now, these include engaging in philanthropic activities, community development projects like the general parks, the street light lamps, and supporting the local social causes to enhance the quality of the life in communities they operate in. Like in general, if we take an apartment in like a society, or you can say an area, they have their own public park, they have their own electricity, like Bahria town, the fence area in Pakistan. Then again, we have social and environmental concerns in the business. We have to relate it with the corporate social responsibility, that is, what the corporate sector, that is the organization, company, has responsibility towards the environment, to the general public, socially as well. So this requires businesses to incorporate the social and environmental considerations into their core strategies and operations. That is, while making the rules and regulations, the momentum, the aims and motives, we have to consider the corporate social responsibility as well. Then the triple bottom line. This includes people, that is the general public, planet, and profit. Maybe you have heard it or not. There are 17 sustainable goals through which United Nations specifically work. Like the number one goal is poverty. We have to eradicate it from the world. Although it is impossible, but it is their goal. And they're trying to achieve it in South Africa first, and then overall world. Now, the TBL concept emphasizes that business should measure the success not only by the financial profit, that is known as economic bottom line, but also by their impact on the people, social bottom line, and the planet, which is known as environmental bottom line. So these three terms must be clear till now. So these encourages a holistic approach, that is an overall approach to the business performance evaluation. When we're going to evaluate it on a monthly or a yearly basis, we're going to evaluate the CSR on these bases as well. That is the people, planet, and profit. They have the specific names as well. And then voluntary nature. Many initiatives are voluntary and go beyond the legal requirements. Business voluntarily engage in the CSR activities to align with their values. Like uh, many organizations, they go to the SOS village, which is in Islamabad. There is an orphanage. Over there, they feed the children, and it's an NGO as well. So what do we call it? It's like a general work through which the normal public, the one which are orphans, they cannot afford the normal commodities, they get better for a while. So what and corporate social responsibility in overall is? It is societal contributions, the integration of the social and environmental considerations. So we are going to consider the society, the social interaction, the environment in it. The triple bottom line, the voluntary commitment of the business to make a positive impact. So even in the assignments, we're going to conclude the answers like this. All the points which we discussed above, I have like included in such a way that it depicts that what is in the above slides. Is CSR clear, guys? Coming towards the main topic of this course, that is assessment criteria 1.1. It says analyze the regulatory framework for the CSR. Analyze means we have to see the positive and the negative aspect of this regulatory framework. Again, all the points are included in the introduction. I'm only giving you a little bit of explanation. First is ISO 26000, that is according to the Social Responsibility Voluntary Guidance. Now, this is voluntary guidance, which is on the social responsibility, offering a comprehensive framework for the business to integrate ethical practices into their operations. In countrywide, now I gave example of, you can give the example of an SMEs only. We are not going to be dealing with the multinationals. Businesses can voluntarily align their CSR efforts with their principles outlined in ISO 26000. While not legally binding, adherence to this specific ISO standard, it demonstrates a commitment to responsible business practices and contributes to behavior responsibly and integrating the social and environmental concerns in the business. Now, these two specific things, that is the behaving one and integrating one, this is mentioned in the ISO 26000. So the businesses which hold this ISO, they are actually complying with the CSR. And the general public or the people which are enthusiastic towards the environment, in saving the environment, they are more into reusable things or pre-left things and saving the environment more towards the sustainable goals. They are going to be amazed by it, and they're going to purchase more products from the specific organizations. Then we have environmental protection. Now, country-wise environmental regulations. Now, these all indicative content points, which is related to the AC 1.1, I gave the example of an unknown country, which is known as countrywide. So please don't get confused with it. So the environmental regulation encompasses laws aimed at minimizing the negative impacts on the environment. So what environmental protection in general is? We are saving the environment through pollution. It can be of various kind again, and through the, what do we call it? All the unnecessary, unfair things which are going in the world due to the corporations, due to the companies, we can save the environment as well. We can use the other options as well. Like, for example, nowadays, what is going on? Sustainable construction has been introduced. Firstly, it is in Dubai. So people are taking steps towards the greener environment. They are trying to protect the environment because gradually and instinctively we are getting the animals, the environment, the trees, they are getting degraded. And that is the reason we are facing the floods as well. The global warming is also increasing day by day. We are facing various kind of weathers in just a month. Health and safety legislation. Obviously, when we talk about any organization, health and safety is very necessary. Maybe for the employee as well, for the consumers as well, and all the people which are associated to your organization. For example, I have a company Y, and I have given my employee medical allowances as well. Why? Because I want their well-being to be the first priority. If they are going to be in a good fit, they're going to be best in their health, then they can definitely promote my business towards more efficient production, and I can achieve my profit maximization as well. Then we have human rights legislation, which unexpectedly we don't have in Pakistan. But in other worlds, the developed nations, they do have the human rights. They have the union trades for the laborers as well, for the general laborers and the labor unions. Now, the human rights legislations of the country Y aims to protect individual rights and dignity. Now, these laws may address issues like equal opportunity, non-discriminations, and treatment of employees, business, and so on. So these are the things which are included in the human rights legislation. Do you need further explanation for it? In compliance with the employment legislation. Employment legislation in the country wide encompasses laws related to the fair labor practices, equal pay, working conditions. So whatever the job specifications are required in the agreement of the job, which is known as I just forgot the name, appointment letter. It is going to be included in that legislation. So we have to we have to follow each and everything as an owner with the employees. Now, this is the conclusion. Again, the regulatory framework for the CSR, or the corporate social responsibility, in any country or countrywide, it encompasses these ISO 26000 guidance, environmental protection regulations, health and safety legislations, human rights legislation, compliance with the employment, and so on. So the business that navigate and adhere to these frameworks demonstrate their commitment to the ethical business practices. So any business which are having these points in their motives, rules and regulation, and in their practices, they are going to be under the heading of perfectly CSR organizations. Moving towards the assessment criteria 1.2. Yeah. Okay. Analyze the environmental issues in corporate social responsibility. Now we are going to talk about what environmental issues we are facing in the corporate social responsibility. And the command verb says we have to discuss it through the positive and the negative aspects. Analyzing the environmental issues. Now, there are a significant aspect of the corporate social responsibility as they address the impact of the business activities on the natural world and the broader ecosystem. Now, we have few points which basically lie under the environmental issues. The first one is the recycling policies. Recycling policies involve strategies to reduce the waste generation. That is, we have to use the byproducts of the production we do in the organization. For example, if we produce sugar, like we produce sugar from the sugar cane, so whatever the waste we get, we can use as a byproduct and produce further things from it. Promote proper wastage separation and encourage the use of recycled materials. Now, they can implement recycling programs, reduce single-use items, and partner with the recycling facilities to minimize their waste footprint and contribute to a circular economy. Now, slowly and gradually, in the developed economies, they have started using recycling things. For example, using the paper bags. They're not using or promoting plastic anymore. Then we have sustainability. Now, sustainability entails using resources in a way that meets present needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That is, right now, we are in the 21st century. We have to look upon our generation that they also have to live in this country, in this world. So we have to save up the stuff for them as well. So everything should be planned according to sustainability, how the things are going to sustain after us. So we have to take the impact, the measurements right now. Businesses can adopt sustainable practices such as resource-efficient manufacturing. That is, we can use the products, the resources, the raw materials, whether the primary or secondary, very efficiently. Renewable energy adoption and responsible sourcing to reduce their ecological impact. Nowadays in Pakistan, we have installed the solar system. Like it is you can say the first priority of each and every house to have a solar system. Why? Because the electricity is quite expensive at the moment, and we directly can get the electricity from the sun if we install the solar panels. So it helps eventually. and we are saving the environment as well. Use of packaging. Packaging materials contribute to the waste and pollution. Businesses can adopt eco-friendly packaging options, reduce the excessive packaging, and explore the biodegradable or usable packaging materials to minimize their packaging-related environmental impact. So we have to focus on the packaging as well, because in the end, what happens is we have to surpass them. We have to crush those items, the one which we sent in the waste, throw in the waste, to produce something new. Or we cannot even just trace them even. For example, the diapers, the baby diapers which we use, they are non-reusable. We cannot do anything of it. We can't recycle it. They can only be put on the ground, and they cannot, like, they just make the environment worse and worse. So that is why everyone discourages using the diapers. It is one example. Then we have logistics of delivery and congestion. Again, efficient logistics and transportation are essential to reducing the emissions, congestion, and fuel consumption. That is why it is always encouraged to have a factory plus the accommodation or the transportation system in such a way that the fuel consumption goes less and everything goes very smoothly. Use of scarce resources. Businesses need to use the scarce resources such as water, mineral, and forest responsibly. Why? Because obviously, even it is predicted that by 2025, we are going to have a World War III upon the water. And that is a kind of true, not the war, but we are getting very less water. In many developing nations, they strive for the clean and clear water. Adopting the sustainable practices such as efficient water usage, responsible mining, and reforestation efforts. That is, we have to plant trees again and again. First, they just produce oxygen for us. Secondly, they also prevent the floodings. Now, these can help preserve these resources for the future generations. So we are working on the sustainability as well. Then we have pollution and carbon footprint. Pollution, whether air, water, or the soil, has significant negative impacts on the environment as well and the public health. Now, they can implement pollution prevention measures, invest in the cleaner production technologies, and adopt waste management practices that reduce their pollution footprint. So we have to, like, even the air pollution which we have through the airplanes, helicopters, we have to look upon it. And even in the Cappadocia, which is located in the Turkey, the hot air balloon, that is also providing a very harmful impact in the environment. Then carbon footprint. The carbon footprint measures the total greenhouse gas emissions produced by any individual, organization, or product. Now, these can work to reduce their carbon footprint by adopting energy-efficient technologies, transitioning to the renewable energy sources, and implementing the carbon offset initiatives like tree planting. Obviously, when we are producing more trees, we are planting more tree samples, the carbon dioxide is going to be reduced because we are going to get more oxygen in the society, in the world, and in the suburbs as well. Okay, then we have biodiversity conservation and environmental compliance. One thing more, these all 9 points are mentioned in your indicative content. While we are going to be working on the task, on the assignments, these all 9 points are going to be included in the task with a detailed explanation. Biodiversity is essential for ecosystem health and resilience. Business can support the biodiversity conservation by implementing sustainable land use practices. That is, again, using it again and again. Avoiding the habitat destruction. That is what we do because we want to build more buildings, malls, farmlands, etc. And minimizing their impact on the local ecosystem as well. Environmental compliance. Now, this is a regulation which is related to the, you can say, businesses which are directly focusing on the laws and regulations which are applied by the government. So we have to follow those things. So that is why we are compliant, we are loyal, we are working towards the environment for a better living space. Then we have Then we have environmental reporting and transparency. Transparency is crucial for accountability and corporate social responsibility. Again, in any business, transparency, being opaque is not easy. You have to make your business a kind of like open to the general public, to the stakeholders. Now, they can publish environmental impact reports that disclose their efforts, progress, and initiatives related to the environmental issues. Obviously, the people which are more concerned towards the environment, safety, sustainability, they are going to be more attracted towards this specific organization. For example, like they are working, they are taking steps to make the environment a greener, a safer place for us. Then again, it's a conclusion. So whatever the points which we discussed in the above slides, these efforts not only align with the principles of the corporate social responsibility, but also contribute to a healthier and more sustainable world. If we try to initiate them these in our organizations, obviously the world is going to be a different place then. Like even in the pandemic COVID-19, the cars stopped, the airlines stopped, everything just got a full stop. What happened was the sky was more clear, the air was more clean. So these all things have a very greater impact on the general things which we don't feel like these are blessings, but these are. Okay. Then we have assessment criteria 1.3, which says again analyze the social and community issues in corporate social responsibility. So first we discuss what the corporate social responsibility is. Then we are slowly and gradually discussing it according to the key features of CSR. Now, there are further strategies through which we can achieve these social and community issues in the CSR. The first one is employing social disadvantaged and disabled people. Businesses can promote social inclusivity by providing employment opportunities for the socially disadvantaged individuals and those with the disabilities. For example, till now, obviously it is not a norm or not easily acceptable by the general public and even the developing nations that the people which are having autism, speech delay, they cannot talk. They treat the children's, even the adults, like there are some aliens on the planet, on the earth. We have to consider them as a human being. And no doubt they are so intelligent, they cannot beat my IQ or even your IQ. They do have something different abilities which are very special. So we have to treat them, we have to give them jobs. Then we have sponsorship. It involves supporting community events, programs, and initiatives through financial or in-kind contributions. Businesses can sponsor local cultural events, sports teams, educational programs, and social projects. That is all the kinds of awareness programs which we do have in our society, in our countries. We always see that many different organizations, they do sponsor them. In this way, their cost is cut down. Then encouraging education and training. Obviously, when we are going to educate the general public, we are going to train them. What is going to happen? It can lead to a better place for the normal people as well. For example, we can give them various workshops. We can give them trainings to the general employees as well, which are working even in the organization, so that they should not leave the organization. They should get trained by the time. Then volunteering. We have an NGO, I just forgot the name of it. It starts from WWF, yeah. Over there, we can easily do the volunteer services. So we give ourselves as we go over in any of the organization which are specifically NGOs, and they take us as a volunteer over there. We do the work, we do the task free of cost. We're not going to get any payment of it. Now they have a positive impact. Business can offer paid volunteering hours, organize volunteer events, or partner with nonprofit organizations to address the social issues such as poverty, education, and environmental conservation as well. Now, because we're talking about the corporate social responsibility, I have given the examples of only these: poverty, education, the sustainable goals, sorry. But we can do others as well. For example, if you remember the pink ribbon, we had a very great campaign in Pakistan. I don't know about the Saudi. Do you guys have any awareness programs over there as well?
Yes, ma'am. We have a lot of awareness program here, and we do volunteering work for those programs like the beach, the seaside awareness program, the neighborhood cleanliness program. We have a lot of programs like this here in Saudi Arabia.
And we have social enterprise. Now, these are the businesses that prioritize the social or environmental objectives alongside the financial goals. That is, we have to take the finance as well. We are not funding or an NGO which can spend a lot of money. Business can support the social enterprises through partnerships, procurement, and investment, thereby contributing to positive social change while conducting the business. That is, we have to take the things side by side, parallel to each other. Only then we can achieve the social factors as well and the business main objectives as well. Then we have community development projects. That is, there are many projects which are specifically to enhance the community, to give the services to the community, to make them easy, like giving a better lifestyle. For example, the general parks, then hospitals, schools which are free, um, and then street lamps like that, and pedestrian walks as well. Then diversity and inclusion. Now, they're promoting diversity and inclusion within the workforce fosters a sense of belonging and respect. Now, they can develop policies that prioritize equal opportunities for the female, for the males. Like in America, there is quite a discrimination for the people, for the women which are expecting. They don't treat them well. So that's wrong. They shouldn't do this. And create an inclusive work environment that mirrors the diverse community, because in any country we are having people from diverse cultures. Like I give example of Pakistan, we treat the Pashtun people, the Pathan people very rudely. I don't know why, but we do. We have divided people in the various sects, even it is a religious one or like a general country or culture wise. Human rights protection, again, it is included in the social responsibility, like the societal feature, because obviously we have to protect the general public as well. We have to see their issues. For example, here I've quoted the child labor, forced and fair working condition. Child labor, again, we do have this problem in our country, in Pakistan. We are having a pathetic kind of cases, which I don't want to discuss, but they are happening just because of the child labor. We rich people do promote it, and in the end, we also protest about it. Then culture preservation. Again, like the normal birds, animals, they're getting extinct. The culture is also getting out of hand. We're not bribing it. Like the mother tongue of our, as a Pakistani, it's Urdu, but we are not opening it. The mothers, the parents, they're always forcing their children to talk in English, blah, blah, because that is what is accepted by the society, by the cultural norm. But this shouldn't be. We should teach them Urdu as well, your Punjabi language as well, your Baluchi language as well, and the Arabic as well. So diversity is always welcome, but we have to preserve our roots. Then social impact assessment. To ensure the effectiveness of their initiatives, business can conduct social impact assessments. Now, these assessments gauge the positive change brought about by CSR efforts and help identify areas for the improvement. So, like a survey, we do have an assessment test for the social impact as well. That is, just because of a XYZ decision, what is going to be the impact on the general public? So we do have a survey for it. And then concluding it, all the various points which we discussed today in the cast in the above slides, they adhere toward the issues which aligns with the broader goal of creating a sustainable, equitable, and socially responsible society.